You have the right to request access to records from any government agency through a federal law. The Freedom of Information Act promotes transparency and holds government agencies accountable, but getting those records could take months and in some cases years. Joining us this morning to discuss is the Deputy Public Policy Editor for OpenTheBooks.com, Rachel O'Brien. Good morning to you, Rachel.
Good morning, Jan. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Your organization has filed many FOIA requests over the years, so you're very familiar with this. And I see that you did an investigation, your organization did, to see what the average wait times were for fulfilling those FOIA requests. What'd you find?
Yeah, so we've been waiting for years for many requests. So we looked at how long everyone else is waiting. So as of last year, the average time to produce records for these FOIA requests that are considered complex, that was 267 business days. That's over 1 year. Requests that are considered simple, they were a bit better. They took an average of 39 days, but there were still 31 agencies that took 100 days or more on average for a simple request. 2 agencies, it was more than 800 days. That's more than 3 years. So that's simply unacceptable.
Which federal agencies were the worst, and what are some examples of the FOIAs that Open the Books is still waiting on right now?
Yeah, so the offices, with a few offices within the Department of Commerce and Veterans Affairs, they were over 800 days for simple requests. And there were 5 other offices that were over 300 days each. So, you have that average of 267 business days. They're all doing pretty poorly to get those records in a timely manner. So Open the Books, we previously reported that the Administration for Children and Families, they're part of HHS, they spend billions every year on aid to migrants. And so most of that is done by giving third-party nonprofits grants, and they distribute that. Well, the director of the Administration for Children and Families, that director under President Biden, Robin Dunn Marcos, she was a former employee of one of those biggest grant recipients. So conflict of interest there. She shouldn't be involved in doling out money to her former employer. The administration, they claimed that the director recused herself from those matters. And so we wanted to verify that. And we FOIA'd the records of her emails 2 years ago to verify this. She's long gone. Now that the Trump administration is back, she's long gone. We are still waiting on those records.
Still waiting for those records.
Yeah, we have example after example of these agencies.
I know the National Institutes of Health was a big problem for you guys as well, because I recall talking to you guys over the past couple of years, trying to get information from NIH, and you couldn't. Give us an example of something you guys were looking for there that you still are waiting for.
Yeah, NIH, right? I mean, we think about back to COVID when Anthony, Fauci was really the one in charge of our lives. And so he and his wife, Christine Brady, they both work for NIH. NIH, we had requested, records for what royalties the NIH scientists receive from pharmaceutical companies. So NIH scientists come up with patents working for the U.S. government. They can sell what they find to pharmaceutical companies, and they get paid. It took us years to get those records, and we still don't know what individual scientists were paid. We just have totals.
Is that because of the redaction? Because if you did receive the records, how do you not have the specific? Absolutely.
So that's the other problem. Even after waiting for years for records, agencies often heavily redact information.
And that's legal?
So they consider it. It's nuts. They're giving us heavily redacted, blacked out information. It's not giving us records, right? It's saying there, but it's not.
Here's a piece of paper, and here's what you want, but you can't see what you want to see.
So there's nothing on it.
Right.
Yeah.
What can be done to improve this process?
Okay, so in terms of the length of time, the DOJ team, they could start updating the software that's used for FOIA. It's slow and it's out of date. Then there's routine information like staff lists and payroll and royalty data. This could be posted automatically. This is very basic information. It would eliminate the need for staffers to respond to these common requests. And many cities do this. You can go on their websites and you can see who works for them and what they're paid. It's not a lot of work. So offices should be appropriately staffed, and Congress can do this. They can mandate that FOIA officers be staffed properly at least 80% capacity. And that would remove excuses. We get excuses all the time that they're understaffed, that there are backlogs. Some even still cite working from home during COVID as a reason why they don't have enough people to respond in a timely manner. So these are basic changes the new administration can make. They've already made government efficiency a priority, right? We know that. But to maximize that impact, transparency has to be prioritized so the public can verify these gains.
Well, I'm glad you guys are on it for us. Deputy Public Policy Editor for OpenTheBooks.com, Rachel O'Brien, we appreciate your time with us this morning.
Thanks, Jen.
Have a great weekend.
You too.